I'm leaving San Diego because the life I thought I wanted here no longer fits. If you're new here, I'm Jess and I'm traveling full-time with my dog Gem in our camper van to see this beautiful country and figure out where I can see myself buying land to settle into someday. I came back to the city for the van's house electrical system failures and repairs 3 times from August to January of this year. Returning to the place I moved to all on my own many years ago from the East Coast reminded me of 4 beautiful years here, friendships, memories, and the moment Gem and I found each other. It will always be special to me, but sometimes a place can hold a piece of your heart and still not be home. Before we continue our travels, I have to move my entire life into storage in 95-degree heat, because nothing says personal growth like heat exhaustion and emotional closure at the same time. This is everything I own. Boxes of a former life, furniture from old apartments, pieces of identities I once thought were permanent. And yes, I'm doing this in August, by myself, in 95-degree heat, because apparently I enjoy suffering. I'd been overpaying for this shippable container since I moved out of California 3 years ago. So I decided to move everything into a stationary storage unit about an hour south of San Diego to save a little money per month. Little did I know that good old public storage would raise the monthly rate just a few months later. But I digress. I really wanted this cabinet out of the very back of the container. It's beautiful, solid, real wood, and somehow it fits perfectly in the van, which felt like a victory. Downsizing your life forces clarity. You start asking different questions. What do I actually need? What brings peace? What kind of life am I building? The version of success I grew up believing in, bigger place, nice car, stable job, more stuff, never gave me a sense of freedom. It just gave me more bills. I'm just gonna speak from the heart here. I've been struggling to find inspiration to create these videos. It's not for a lack of desire. I really enjoy sharing our memories and life on the road with you guys. It's more so trying to process all of the darkness that's coming to light in the world right now.
My face is beat red.
I've thought, what's the point? What's the point of making YouTube videos in the grand scheme of things? But then I realized that is the point. To keep living despite all of the pain in the world. And adding goodness back into it, no matter how big or small. I felt both anger and despair for the atrocities being unveiled, and I've been battling things untold in my own small corner of the world. But I'm still here, trying to stay grounded, reaching for hope, and seeking my version of a meaningful life. To all of you subscribed to the channel who continue to show up in encouraging ways, I see you, and I'm grateful for you.
Strap it, maybe. Love you. Feel good, Hufflepuff. Okay. I'm doing the best I can. All right. Hi. Try not to get stroked. Hi, cutie. You guys can look at it. Yeah. Oh. Mama. All right, go sit. You were doing just fine. Go ahead, go sit down. A little bit of how I'm doing. Absolutely disgusting. Hey, what are you looking at? How you doing, Mama? Hi. I don't know if that's wind or rodents running around. Jemmy insisted on coming out with me, even though I told her it's scorching out here. She does not care. This has been an absolute nightmare. So now I gotta figure out how to get this out here. Okay. I really don't remember what I did the first time around. What? That's not gonna lift that.
Don't look before you leave. What you give, you get to keep. So long, farewell, bye-bye. Let's have a toast for those lost old eyes. And my crooked little heart that seems so rebellious is falling
Find something to pry this off with.
apart.
idea if this actually would fit, and oh my god. Oh, thank you, God. Oh wow, that's amazing. This is like the one fucking thing that went well today. I had not seen this in 3 years, but I just thought it would fit here. I really did. It's like a fucking perfect fit. Like, it could not be. And I actually moved my seat up a little, so wow. Okay, cool. August 31st. Still out here trying to survive the heat. Is it fall yet?
Before heading into a quiet mountain town where a completely different life first started whispering to me several years ago, I stopped off a nearby forest road for the night. Little did I know that rain would turn into a flash flood warning. Jimmy's very intrigued. Look how old this tree was. Look at all of its lines. I'm not a fake it till you make it kind of person. It's just not in me. So when I'm struggling behind the scenes, I tend to pull back and go inward. Honestly, it felt less complicated to put myself out there when I had a few hundred subscribers and only really kind people leaving comments. But with channel growth comes more eyes and more opinions. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and for much of my life, this has felt like a weakness, when in actuality, it's a massive strength. Especially in a society that often seems cold and out of touch with real connection and community.
I love you to the moon.
Herein lies the necessity of setting boundaries with people, places, and anything that drains your spirit. It isn't being difficult, but instead choosing to trade abandoning yourself for protecting your peace. Yes, we live in a capitalist society, and yes, we need to make money to survive. But our most valuable currency is our time and our energy. Much of society is designed to siphon both, and we often don't even notice it until our bodies are screaming out to be noticed and force us to slow down.
I believe we're right next to the road, because this is all going to be flooded. Road's right there. Okay, well, we're kind of on top of like a heavy flowing stream, so I'm thinking we're going to have to move. That escalated quickly. Actually, this side shows it a lot. Oh, a lot worse. Whoa. Yeah, that's going right under the van. Okay. Yeah, we gotta move.
Van life teaches flexibility fast. Plans change, roads close, you move, you adapt, you keep going. But the moment I drive into these mountains, something in me settles. It feels familiar, like returning to the beginning of a story. I believe I came through here with my Volkswagen. Ooh. Gotta remember this. We're back in Big Bear, California.
Where are we, Mama? Do you remember this spot? We cooked right here with the Volkswagen.
The first time I came here was in 2022. I didn't have a plan, I just needed to get away at the time. Yo, I'm like a legitimate camper. Like, check this shit out. Making myself a meal. Using my cool ass stove. In the forest. obviously didn't have a big rig at the time, so I drove my little Volkswagen up the mountain and rented a cute little cabin that me and Gem stayed in for a couple days.
I literally love it. Look how cute it is in here. I wish I had more time in here. Come through here. This is our bathroom. Very cute. Nice little kitchen. I'll just mute myself like I always do. Ain't it cute? And I did all my dishes because I'm a good girl and took the garbage out. All right, cool, love it.
After leaving the cabins, I realized I wasn't ready to leave yet, so I went and bought a tent for my first night of solo camping, and we went and explored Big Bear Lake. We stayed at this dispersed camp spot, tucked into the forest, right next to a spring with fresh mountain water. And I spent my days basking in the sun, reading and hiking. Growing up, the only time I really spent outdoors was at the beach. I don't come from a camping family by any means, so this was the first time I really fell in love with being in the outdoors. This solo trip was really a turning point for me, and I completely fell in love with being out in the forest during this trip. After a long day of hiking, when we returned to our campsite, everything was gone. Yep, that's right. My entire tent and everything in it had been stolen. Luckily, I had most of my valuables in my car, but I still lost a lot that day. The next day, I went looking for my tent and my belongings, and I found it. I reported it to a ranger, but since these were commonly sold items in the area, I really couldn't prove it, and I had to just move on. On all my stuff that was stolen. Here's my tent. There's my hammock. I'm not gonna touch it right now, but yeah, this is my stuff. That's crazy. So we ended up sleeping in the Volkswagen that night at a trailhead, and I would coincidentally meet my very first van life friend there. Meet my first van life friend. An older gentleman in this Sprinter up here. I went ahead and bought another tiny tent for Gem and I to sleep in that night, and the next couple of days we ended up hanging out with our new friend Mr. Bruce and his dog Cooper. There ended up being a huge fire across the lake, and smoke filled the mountain air. We stayed for a while to watch as the helicopters worked hard to try to put it out. And then we headed out nearby to Lake Arrowhead.
Sometimes, like I said, it's not that your wants, but
Yeah. Yep, that's true. May not get what you want, but you get what you need.
So we walked around. I saw this really cute shop, and we got some lunch and went our separate ways. We still keep in touch to this day. It was really cool meeting someone who was living this lifestyle and seemed really at peace. That first solo camping trip planted the seed in my mind, and the idea that I could do that too. Which leads back to present day with our van all these years later.
Mama, do you remember this spot? We cooked right here with the Volkswagen. And there's a natural spring up here that we're gonna go fill up water. It's gonna be heavy carrying this back. How magical is this? I love it. It's a pretty cool camp spot that my tent got stolen up back that way. Beautiful natural spring water. Do better. Do better. It sucks. Had to hold it the whole time. There's the entrance. Here's camp.
After a chaotic couple of weeks stealth camping in the city, I had fully planned on settling into this forest for at least a week or so. But a ranger came to my door on my second night there and announced that the dispersed camping area I was parked on was actually closed until the end of September. And apparently I was the only one out there. Whoops. If there's one thing van life has taught me, it's that rarely do things go to plan. He was kind enough to let me stay one more night, and then it was time to move again. In the next video, we're settling back into life on the road and visiting one of my absolute favorite places along this entire journey so far. Thanks for being here with us. We'll see you on the next one.